Hi guys, Jeff here from TAP with another interesting diagnostic job we got in the workshop today. So we've got this VW Golf that's been presented to us with an intermittent rough running. So it's been an ongoing issue for some time. It's had a number of parts already thrown at the car. It's presented to us today to have a look at it and see what we can work out what's going on with it. So we've got a 2003 1.8, so it's the AGU motor on this particular VW. I have covered this particular problem with this vehicle before, but I thought we'd just refresh it. So first thing we did, relative compression check. Make sure the compression's okay. That was sound. We don't have a problem there. We then got a coil-on plug tester to check our coil-on plug. So a quick little test with a coil-on plug tester to make sure that they're working. Found out number one cylinder's not firing at all. So we know that our miss is on number one cylinder. So next thing to do was to check the plugs. They were okay. They'd been replaced. The coils had already been replaced as well, is to check the inputs to that coil. So we've got the oscilloscope out, checked it, no triggering to the number one coil. So straight away there was a problem. Now in scanning this car initially, it came up with a fault code for 515 Hall effect sensor. So again, don't get misguided by the fault code, because the fault code might be there for a different reason. So people look at fault code sometimes and just automatically assume that's where the problem is. In this case, we need to do a little bit more work. So we've worked out we've got a misfire on number one cylinder as we have the car at the moment. Now, looking at the wiring diagram in this car was interestingly enough. Again, we've got our 4 coil-on plugs here on the wiring diagram, but most importantly, we can now see that it's actually got a separate amplifier, ignition amplifier before the ECU. So we've got 4 wires or triggers to the ignition amplifier, and the amplifier is triggering the coil. So we need to find this amplifier and check the inputs to that particular component. Now, coming to the vehicle here, the amplifier actually lives here on the air filter housing. So it's just situated there. I've got the old one here, which is the ignition module, so a very common Bosch module. We've got 5 wires on one side, which is basically a ground, and our 4 inputs. The other side, our 4 outputs, which go to each of the coils. So again, that was just a matter of getting the oscilloscope, checking the good earth, number one, but we knew we only had a misfire on number one cylinder, so we were able to actually diagnose a faulty module. And as I said, we've covered this before. Interestingly enough, you think, strange spot to mount an ignition module on a plastic housing on an air filter. But think about it, we've got a heat sink, we want to keep it cool. The harder the car's working, i.e. the higher the revs, the hotter it's going to get. Mounting it on the air filter box, the airflow is going to be higher, the harder the car's working or the higher the revs. So the air input, air crossing that will keep it cool. So initially we thought a bit of a silly spot to mount the module, but in the end it was actually a very sensible spot, as the increased revs and airflow will actually increase the cooling capacity of this particular module. So new module was put in there, up and away again, different car altogether. So a long-term vehicle with ongoing missing and running issues end up being a faulty ignition module. So sometimes they don't fail completely, they'll come and go. I think in this case it was missing between different cylinders at different times as well. So we're going to add this to our repair solution, so any member that gets a problem with this particular make or model will be able to look that up on our website. If you're a member, make sure you're utilising the website as much as possible. If you're not a member, maybe time to join up. So go to tap.net.au, pick up the Join Up Now button and join the 3,500 other members that are sharing information, knowledge and experience. See you next time.